Good morning, Travel Tribe. So it's time for me to start making these videos. And I've taken some notes so that I don't forget things. But I realized I needed to talk about why I'm starting this channel and why you would be interested. So myself, my name is Melanie. I am 57 years old. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am a budget, slow travel, solo traveler. I do pet sitting and house sitting, and I teach English online. I am a certified life coach and a certified ESL teacher. And I left the United States 21 years ago and have really never looked back. In 88, 89, I left the United States for the very first time, and I went to Germany. And while I was in Germany, I also traveled to England, Italy, and Zurich, Switzerland. And that is where the bug for leaving the United States, that's where I got bit. So yeah, I have not looked back, and since then I have lived in the south of France, in Nice, and I lived on a tiny American island in the Philippine Sea for 7.5 years. And now I'm currently bopping around the world. And if I look away, it's because I am suffering from dimenopause. It's not dementia, it's menopause. And so I have to look away to remember what was going on in my brain 30 seconds ago. And if you can relate to that, you are my people, and that's why you're here. So, and that's also why I have notes. So I have been outside of the United States living and loving life for over 21 years. Living in the south of France was beautiful, and I loved every minute of it. But some things changed there, and I left because I didn't want the system. I didn't move there to take advantage of the system, and I wasn't going to allow their system to take advantage of me. So that's why I left. Yeah, so why am I doing this channel? Why am I doing this channel? I'm doing this channel, it's really the reason why I do everything. I do things because I wish I had somebody like that for me. So when I teach my students the way I wish a teacher had taught me. And now I'm traveling the world and doing all of this, and the current situation in the States says to me, it's time that I put all of my information out there so that if I can help one person, then this is all worth it for me. So if any of that sounds like you, and there's some other things I'm gonna add here, if at any point you hear yourself in there and you feel like you're interested in more, please please subscribe, and follow me, because I'm gonna be giving tips about security. I'm gonna be giving tips about traveling on a budget, sharing my different tricks and hacks, and just giving you all of my information so that, again, if I can get one person to leave the United States and experience the joy and the peace that I have experienced, then this whole thing has been worth it. So who are you? Let's see. I want to let I want to let others know that are like me that you are not too old, you are not too fat, and you are not too broke to travel this world. And I even, like, my thing is broke but bougie traveling, because even though I travel on a budget, I still have somewhat high standards. I know there's some people who wouldn't stay in some of the hotels I'd stay in, and that's cool. Look, this is a no judgment thing. If I do things different than you, peace. If you do things different than me, peace. I am down with the That's My Sister challenge, and so I'm not judging anybody if they do things differently. And if they want luxury, then have luxury. If you can afford luxury, then do luxury. I would do too. But me myself, I don't need luxury as much as I need more experiences and good food. I will save some money on a hotel so that I can have a nice meal. That is for sure. So if you feel like you're too old, if you feel like you're too broke, if you feel like you're too fat, if you feel like you are too afraid, like I definitely don't have the afraid thing, but I travel with anxiety. I am almost always anxious. If you're coming out of an abusive relationship, especially a narcissistic abusive relationship, follow me, because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing and this traveling is really a healing process for me, where I get to check, like, why did I think that? Why am I doing that? Why am I a little over vigilant, hyper vigilant? So if any of those things are you, then come along and follow me. I just had an amazing voyage that was a little too much for me. About 10 days ago, let's see probably the 18th, 16 days ago, I left Christchurch, New Zealand, and I went to Wellington, New Zealand, and I was in Wellington for 2 days. Then I took a full train ride up to Auckland, New Zealand, arrived at 7 o'clock at night, and then flew out 7 o'clock the next morning, but made sure I got on that hop on, hop off bus before I flew out so I could count it. And then flew to Melbourne, spent 3 days in Melbourne, after having spent 5 weeks in Melbourne, house sitting. And then from Melbourne, I flew to Seoul. I had a night in Seoul, and from Seoul, I flew to Chiang Mai, Thailand. And I was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, recovering and struggling with the time zone differences, jet lag, there it is. Struggling with jet lag, which I hadn't even thought of, and which is another reason why I like slow traveling, because slow traveling, if you do it right, you don't have to deal with jet lag as much. So, and then from there, I was 5 or 6 days in Chiang Mai, had a wonderful meetup and brunch with the Black community in Chiang Mai. And then I flew here, and I'm now currently in Bangkok, Thailand, doing a house sit for 2 dogs and a kitty. And you can see behind me that it is a wonderful apartment, and there's a pool downstairs and a gym. It's really nice. So that's where I'm at now. I will be adding all of that trip information and all of the stuff to my website, which is Miss Melanie's World, missmelanies.world. So if you want to hear the past stuff, then go check that out. If you want to hear future stuff and go along with me as I learn YouTube and as I learn how to be a social media person, which I don't ever want to be a social media person, but here I go. If you want to do that, then follow me here, and maybe on Instagram, maybe. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna be putting out a video at least once a day for the next 2 weeks. So again, subscribe so you can get notified when I put in the next videos. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Oh, yes, one more thing. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will be in those comments. I will be asking those questions, and I may make a video of your questions. So there you go. Have a nice morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Yes? Talk to you soon.